The African Development Bank is aiming to raise $1 billion to stave off a potential food crisis on the continent brought on by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, its president has said. Speaking to Reuters on Friday, Akinwumi Adesina said the AfDB was planning to launch an emergency food production plan that would focus on rapidly boosting wheat, maize, rice and soybean output.
The plan is to be able to produce roughly 30 million metric tons of food, and to get technologies into the hands of 20 million farmers. So you're looking at big scale with smallholder farmers.
Like much of the world, African countries are facing rapidly rising consumer prices, with the war in Ukraine endangering global wheat and corn supplies and sending fuel prices soaring. Adesina said that follows the coronavirus pandemic, which had already pushed 24 million more people on the continent into extreme poverty.
When COVID struck, we were not ready. But this time, we are fully ready, and we will avert a food crisis, and we will avert also the impact on inflation. But we do need the money to be able to very quickly intervene and get it done.
Adesina decried the war's impact on Ukraine and its people, but also said it could be an opportunity for Africa.
The biggest challenge Europe has right now is how to secure its energy supply.
The continent could position itself as a natural gas supplier to Europe, he said, and a refuge for investors fleeing Russia.
There are a lot of investors that are going to be diversifying out of Russia, of course, right? And they want to diversify into whether it's energy, whether it's gas, whether it's into minerals and metal, processing and beneficiation. That's a real opportunity, I think, for Africa at this point in time.
The International Monetary Fund has already voiced its support to help implement the plan, which will produce food staples worth $12 billion, Adesina said. The AfDB plans to raise money for the initiative from various emergency support facilities, concessional financing, and from the IMF's proposed $50 billion Resilient Sustainability Fund.
It happens to be area where
Mr. President, what do you think about Russia changing its strategy?
I'm not sure they have.
And what's the impact of this on you, Mr. President? Tell us about what you saw. What were the commitments
What is
with
this? I mean,
Ukraine?
you see this, and you're dealing every day with Vladimir Putin. I mean, look at what he's done to these people. What does it make you think?
He's a butcher. That's what makes me
Did you make additional
Thank
commitments?
you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia, for free people refused to live in a world of hopelessness and darkness. We will have a different future, a brighter future, rooted in democracy and principles, hope and light, of decency and dignity, of freedom and possibilities. For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power. God bless you all, and may God defend our freedom, and may God protect our troops.
Ukrainian MasterChef winner and now Judge Olga Martinovska has a message: Eat Borscht, save Ukraine. We met her in Prague on Saturday at a stand flying the Ukrainian flag at a popular farmers' market along the city's Vltava River, dishing up borscht and other traditional dishes.
And I'm a judge of MasterChef in Ukraine, and I'm cook, I'm chef. So here I'm doing my job, but it's not because I want to do it in front of the river here in Prague. It's because we're doing benevol or charita, yes, charita in Czech. We collect the money in different way to buy the life necessary medicines for the Ukrainians who stay in hot points and really need it.
Martinovska fled to Prague with her 6-year-old daughter to escape Russia's invasion. She said she was fortunate to find safety with friends in the city. Since Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, which Moscow called a special operation, around 300,000 refugees have found refuge in Czech Republic. Nearly 3.8 million people have fled Ukraine since the outbreak of war, most of them heading to Poland. according to UN refugee agency UNHCR.
This is Ukraine's Slavutic on Saturday. The town, home to workers at the defunct Chernobyl nuclear plant, has just been seized by Russian soldiers, according to Alexander Pavlyuk, governor of the Kyiv region. The chant you can hear is residents shouting, "Go home," having unfurled a large Ukrainian flag. Pavlyuk said the Russians opened fire into the air and threw stun grenades to disperse the crowds. Reuters cannot independently verify that report. After more than 4 weeks of conflict, Russia has failed to seize any major Ukrainian city. On Friday, it signalled that it was scaling back its military ambitions to focus on territory claimed by Russian-backed separatists in the east. But intense fighting reported in a number of places suggests there will be no swift let-up in the conflict. Visiting Poland on Saturday, US President Joe Biden described Russian President Vladimir Putin as a butcher. He said he was not sure Moscow was changing its strategy to focus on the eastern Donbass region, despite getting bogged down in some areas. Back in Ukraine, the mayor of the besieged southern port city Mariupol said the situation there remains critical. Vadim Boychenko reported that street fighting was taking place in the center. The city has been devastated by weeks of Russian fire. Outside one damaged apartment block, 2 residents, who did not give their names, described how at night they lie in a cold basement, wondering how they will survive. And in the day, they bury bodies around the building.
Yes, people are dying just like that. What for? They are fighting because they can't decide how to split power, and we are suffering. What kind of a life is this? Is that the old age we were hoping for?
In an address to Qatar's Doha Forum on Saturday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky compared the situation in Mariupol to the destruction inflicted by combined Syrian and Russian forces on the city of Aleppo.